What's up guys, Chigs here from Chigs Tech Reviews. So today I'm checking out a brand new handheld console. So this is the Powkiddy RGB20S. Now I guess you can call this a modern day Game Boy in design, but of course with a lot more buttons than you had on the original Game Boy. So we have a plastic body design, 3.5 inch IPS display, and that is a 640 by 480 resolution screen, which is going to be good enough for your retro games. The console is compact in size, measuring 12 centimeters in height, 8.3 centimeters in width, and 2.8 centimeters in depth, and it weighs only 180 grams. Furthermore, you do have dual joysticks which are clickable with D-pad. You've got your X, Y, B and A buttons. You've got select start function button, and just above that you have your speaker grill. Now on the side we have volume rocker and MicroSD card slot 1 for your OS. So that has your system OS in there, and if I quickly show you, it is a 16 gigabyte card. Now on the other side we have power button and reset button, and you have your secondary MicroSD card slot for your games, and I'll quickly show you what I have here. And I actually have here the 128 gigabyte variant, but other options are available from 32, 64 and of course 128. Now on top we have nothing, and at the bottom we have a Type-C port for charging, headphone jack and a Type-C OTG port. Now this console is powered by the Rockchip RK3326 Quad-core clocked at 1.5 gigahertz, and you get only 1 gig of RAM. So we do need to see how the various systems perform. So this console is supposed to handle retro games from old school classics all the way up to your 5th gen PlayStation 1, N64, Dreamcast, PSP, DS and lots more. Also battery size is 3500 milliamp hours, which promises up to 8 hours of retro gaming. Now I do need to mention this console does not have built-in Wi-Fi. To use Wi-Fi on this, you need to purchase an additional USB Wi-Fi dongle. So that just means you cannot play ad hoc multiplayer games, and you can't download additional box arts or themes. Now without the internet, you can still play thousands of games on this. So internet is not required to play games. You only need the net if you want to download additional content. So let's check out the system software. As soon as you boot the system up, it will load into ArkOS with a Linux backend. And it has EmuStation pre-installed for you to use. Now all games are arranged in categories by console name, and it also gives you some system information. So you have a short description, you can see what the controller looks like, you can see the date the console was released, and it also gives you a number of how many games are available to play. If we start off with all games, you can see the figure of how many games we have to begin with. Now I'm going to go through these with you. We've got Arcade, Capcom System 1, Capcom System 2, Capcom System 3, Sega Naomi, PC Engine, Famicom, Super Famicom, NES, SNES, N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, NDS, Mega Drive, Genesis, Dreamcast, Neo Geo, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Sony PlayStation, Sony PSP, Options, and then we're back to all games. Now to play games, you just select the system you want to play and just hit the A button, and that will take you to the list of games. So a really straightforward, easy to use setup here. We don't have any internet, so we can't download any additional themes. But if you press start and go to UI settings, you can see that we have quite a few themes pre-installed for you. So if I just switch to another theme, and so here is an example of another theme that you could select, and that's quite nice. I'll show you another one. This is similar to the one I showed you earlier, but it has background music. So a lot of interesting themes that you can play around with. So even without the net, there's plenty there for you to enjoy, as you can see. So this is a minimalistic theme. If you didn't want too many graphics, you want something a bit more minimal, and this is the one to go for. All right, so let's check out the games, starting off with what I feel is going to be more difficult to emulate. So let's start off with PSP. Now, whilst most PSP games that I tested played quite well, GTA Vice City was slightly laggy at times, certainly not running at full speed. But that should give you an idea of what to expect from PSP. Now let's move on to some N64. So I am playing No Mercy on the N64. The game is kind of playable. It is slightly laggy, not full speed, and the sound is also quite distorted. So let's try another N64 game. So N64 games do work, but you will experience lag and a lot of choppiness with the sound. So that should already give you an idea of the performance that you can expect. But there's another feature that I do want to show you. If you press the select button at any point, it will pick a random game from a random console, and it will let you know the name of the game and the console right there. Press select again and it will change the game. And you can keep doing that until you find a game that you want to play. So as soon as you find a game you want to play, you just hit the start button. Alright, let's do F-Zero. So from that preview page, that is going to directly load that game that we just chose. And if at any point you want to exit, just press select start at the same time and it will take you back to the menus. So I'm going to press select again. I want to play a few more random games. So here we go, let's choose one. Okay, pick another game. So there you have it guys, that was the Powkiddy RGB20S. This is a budget game console. You got budget build quality. It's also running a slightly slower chipset than what you get in an Anbernic handheld. And combine that with only 1 gig of RAM means some systems do struggle and not all games will play at full speed. There is also no display out, so you can't connect this to the big screen as you have no HDMI output. And also there is no built-in Wi-Fi, which is a bit of a shame, as when you do add your own games, which is quite easy to do, there will be, however, no artwork for it. And you can't download it because it doesn't have any Wi-Fi. You do have the option to purchase an additional Wi-Fi dongle, but really, Wi-Fi should have been standard with this device. Now, on the other hand, battery life is really good, and the controls are okay in quality and fairly comfortable to use. Sound quality is actually quite good for the games that do run at full speed, but game systems like N64, the sound is choppy because it just can't keep up with the emulation. So overall, for the money, this will give you a massive library of retro entertainment in a small Game Boy form factor. A retro fan can certainly make use of this thing, playing the older generation games with no issues. But if you're after something a bit more premium, a bit more powerful, with better parts and better build quality, then I would recommend you check out the Anbernic range. Otherwise, the Powkiddy RGB20S offers enough bang for the price for a retro fan to enjoy, but do keep the caveats I mentioned in mind. Now that being said, links will be in the description box in case you want to check this out for yourself. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like and sub. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.